What will Earth look like in 100 years? The answer will shock you. What if I told you that by 2124, you could live for 200 years, in perfect health? What if cities could float on water? What if we could literally control the weather? I'm about to show you something that will completely change how you think about the future. And trust me, you won't see this coming. But before we dive in, let me ask you something. Do you think the world will be better or worse in 100 years? Keep that answer in mind, because by the end of this video, you might completely change your opinion. The shocking truth about tomorrow's Earth. Right now, as you're watching this, the Earth is changing. Every second, sea levels rise by microscopic amounts. Every minute, the atmosphere gains more carbon dioxide. Every hour, species adapt or disappear forever. But here's what the news won't tell you. We're not just passive victims of change. We're about to become the masters of our planet's destiny. In exactly 100 years, Miami will still exist. But here's the twist. It'll be completely underwater. Yet millions will still call it home. How is that even possible? Picture this. You wake up in your Miami apartment in 2124. You look out your window and instead of streets, you see fish swimming by. Massive transparent domes rise from the ocean floor, creating underwater neighborhoods more beautiful than anything we have today. These aren't just bubbles underwater. We're talking about pressurized cities with their own weather systems, artificial beaches, and skyscrapers that stretch from the ocean floor to above the water's surface. The Netherlands has already started building these. They call them water squares, urban areas designed to flood during storms and then drain away. But by 2124, this technology will be so advanced that underwater living will be a luxury, not a necessity. Amsterdam, in Tweed de Wijsend en in Twintig, picture Venice, but the canals are 50 feet deep and glass tunnels connect floating buildings. Bangkok will have neighborhoods that rise and fall with the tides, powered by wave energy. But the real shock isn't that our coastal cities will survive. It's how they'll thrive. Floating cities won't just be places to live. They'll be massive research stations, growing food, cleaning ocean water, and actually improving the environment around them. Each floating neighborhood will be like a living organism. Solar panels that look like lily pads will cover the water's surface. Underwater gardens will filter pollution while providing oxygen. The city itself will be cleaning the ocean. And here's the crazy part. These cities will move, following ocean currents, chasing storms to harvest their energy, or simply relocating for better fishing grounds. But that's just what's happening on the surface. The underground revolution. While some cities float, others will burrow deep underground. And I'm not talking about bunkers or subway tunnels. Imagine entire metropolises carved into mountains, with artificial suns providing perfect lighting 24/7. Underground farms that produce more food per square foot than any surface agriculture. Why underground? Because the surface will be too valuable for something else entirely. The energy revolution nobody talks about. You know what's crazy? We're fighting over oil and gas right now. But in 2124, that'll seem as outdated as fighting over whale oil. Here's what's really happening behind the scenes. Right now, there are engineers in Japan working on solar panels so efficient they can generate electricity from moonlight. Not just sunlight, moonlight. In China, they're building solar farms the size of entire countries. But that's nothing compared to what's coming. Picture this. It's 2080, and the first orbital solar power station goes online. This thing is massive, larger than the International Space Station, covered in solar panels that never experience night or weather. The energy it collects gets converted to microwaves and beamed down to Earth. One station like this could power the entire United States. And we're not talking about just one. By 2014, there will be hundreds of these orbital power plants, creating an energy abundance we can barely imagine. But here's where it gets really interesting. Nuclear fusion, the same process that powers the sun, will finally be mastered. And when I say mastered, I mean we'll have fusion reactors the size of shipping containers, producing enough energy to power entire cities. Remember those floating cities I mentioned? Each one will have its own fusion reactor, making them completely energy independent. With unlimited clean energy, everything changes. And I mean everything. We can desalinate ocean water on a massive scale, turning deserts into forests. The Sahara Desert in 2124, it'll be green. Not just patches. The entire thing will be a massive forest, with rivers, lakes, and cities throughout. But here's the most insane part. We'll use this energy to literally control the weather. Massive atmospheric processors will be able to redirect hurricanes, create rain where it's needed, and prevent droughts. The phrase weather forecast will be replaced with weather schedule, because we'll be planning the weather, not just predicting it. But energy is just the beginning of our technological transformation. Skaumath becomes optional. This next part sounds impossible. But I need you to stay with me because this is already happening in laboratories around the world. Right now, at this very moment, there are scientists at Harvard who have successfully reversed aging in mice. Not slowed it down, reversed it. Old mice became young again. By 2014, this technology will be perfected for humans. Imagine tiny robots, and I mean microscopic, smaller than blood cells, swimming through your bloodstream right now. They're constantly monitoring your health, hunting down cancer cells before they can multiply, repairing damaged DNA, and literally stopping the aging process. These nanobots will be programmed with the blueprint of your body when you are 25 years old. Anytime a cell starts to age or malfunction, they'll repair it or replace it. Heart attack? Impossible. The nanobots will detect arterial blockage and dissolve it before it becomes dangerous. Cancer? The robots will eliminate cancer cells the moment they appear. But here's where it gets really crazy. By 2014, death from aging will be completely optional. Not because we'll be immortal, but because we'll have complete control over our biological processes. Want to be 25 forever? No problem. Want to age to 40 and stay there? Easy. Want to experience being 80 for the wisdom, then return to 30? It's your choice. A 100-year-old in 2014 will have the energy and health of a 25-year-old today, but they'll also have 100 years of knowledge and experience. And here's something nobody talks about. What happens when the smartest, most experienced humans don't die? Einstein lived to 76. Imagine if he had lived to 200 or 300. Tesla died at 86. What could he have invented with another century of life? By 2014, we'll have geniuses who have been working on problems for 150 years. The rate of innovation will be exponential, but longevity is just one part of human enhancement. The superhuman revolution. Remember comic book superheroes? By 2014, they'll seem quaint compared to what regular humans can do. Genetic editing will allow parents to give their children superhuman abilities, not just preventing diseases. We're talking about enhanced intelligence, perfect memory, incredible physical strength, and senses beyond anything we have today. Imagine children born with eyes that can see infrared and ultraviolet light. They'll literally see heat signatures and UV patterns that are completely invisible to us. Others will be born with enhanced hearing that can detect sounds across vast distances, or cognitive abilities that make today's geniuses look average. But here's the ethical dilemma. What happens when some humans are genetically enhanced and others aren't? Will we create a new species of superior humans? This is already being debated in laboratories and government meetings around the world. And it's not just genetic enhancement. Your brain will merge with the internet. Right now, you need your phone to access the internet. You type, you click, you swipe. But what if all of that happened just by thinking? Neural implants are no longer science fiction. Elon Musk's Neuralink has already allowed paralyzed patients to control computers with their thoughts. But by 2124, neural interfaces will be as common as smartphones today. Here's what your day will look like. You wake up and think, what's the weather? Instantly, you know it's 72 degrees and sunny, with a 15% chance of rain at 3 p.m. You look at a person speaking a foreign language, and you understand every word as if they're speaking your native tongue. Not because you learned the language, but because AI is translating it directly into your brain in real time. You want to remember something from 20 years ago. Your enhanced memory instantly recalls not just what happened, but exactly what you were feeling, what the weather was like, even what you had for breakfast that day. But here's where it gets mind-blowing. Multiple people will be able to share consciousness temporarily. Imagine experiencing someone else's memories as if they were your own. A surgeon could share their muscle memory with a student, instantly transferring decades of experience. Artists could share their creative vision. Musicians could let you experience music the way they hear it. The barriers between individual minds will become optional. But this connection goes beyond just human minds. The AI Companions Revolution. By 2124, the line between human and artificial intelligence will be completely blurred. You'll have AI companions that know you better than you know yourself. They'll predict your needs, support your goals, and help you become the best version of yourself. But these won't be servants or tools. They'll be partners. Some people will form deeper relationships with AI than they do with other humans. And here's something that'll blow your mind. These AI beings will be creative, emotional, and potentially more intelligent than any human who ever lived. Imagine having a conversation with an AI that has read every book ever written, studied every piece of art, and can compose music that moves you to tears. But it gets even stranger. We're about to become aliens. Mars isn't just a distant dream anymore. Right now, SpaceX is planning the first permanent settlement. By 2014, Mars will have cities with millions of residents. But here's the shocking part that nobody talks about. The children born on Mars won't be human anymore. Not exactly. Mars has 38% of Earth's gravity. The atmosphere is different. Radiation levels are higher. Within just a few generations, Martians will evolve differently than Earth humans. They'll be taller due to lower gravity. Their bone density will be different. Their cardiovascular systems will adapt to the thinner atmosphere. We're literally watching the birth of a new branch of humanity. And Mars is just the beginning. Jupiter's moons Europa and Enceladus have liquid oceans under their icy surfaces. Right now, NASA is designing submarines that will one day dive into these alien seas. What we find there will change everything we thought we knew about life itself. But here's what's really crazy. We might not be alone. The alien discovery that changes everything. By 2124, we'll have telescopes so powerful they can analyze the atmosphere of Earth-like planets, hundreds of light years away. We'll be able to detect not just water and oxygen, but actual biosignatures, the chemical fingerprints of life. And statistically, it's almost impossible that we won't find life somewhere. But here's the terrifying possibility. What if the life we find is more advanced than us? Right now, we're listening for alien radio signals. But what if advanced civilizations stopped using radio 1,000 years ago? What if they've moved on to technologies we can't even imagine? Some scientists believe we might discover that intelligence is common in the universe, and that we're just babies in comparison. This could be the most humbling discovery in human history, or the most exciting, the economic revolution. Nobody sees coming. All of this technology will create the most dramatic economic shift in human history. Traditional jobs will disappear, not just factory work. Lawyers, doctors, accountants, even programmers will be replaced by AI that's faster, more accurate, and never gets tired. But here's the twist. This won't create unemployment. It'll create a completely new type of economy. When energy is unlimited and AI can produce anything we need, scarcity ends. And when scarcity ends, so does traditional economics. By 2014, we might have a post-money society where your value isn't based on what you produce, but on what you create, explore, and contribute to human knowledge and culture. Universal basic income won't just be a safety net. It might be the foundation of a society where everyone is free to pursue their passions without worrying about survival. Artists, philosophers, explorers, and inventors will be the most valued members of society. But this transition won't be smooth. The great challenges we must overcome. Not everything about 2124 will be perfect. We'll face challenges that seem impossible today. Climate refugees will number in the billions as some areas become uninhabitable. Managing this migration will require global cooperation on a scale we've never achieved. The gap between enhanced and unenhanced humans could create new forms of inequality worse than anything we've seen. Cybersecurity will be literally a matter of life and death when hackers could potentially access your brain. And there's something else nobody talks about. What happens to human purpose when machines can do everything better than us? Depression and existential crisis could become the biggest health challenges of the future. But I believe we'll overcome these challenges, because throughout history, humans have always adapted and found new purposes. The choice that changes everything. Here's the real question. Will you be part of this future? Because this isn't some far-off fantasy. Every technology I mentioned is being developed right now in laboratories and companies around the world. The life extension research happening at Harvard. The neural interfaces being tested by Neuralink. the orbital solar platforms being designed by space agencies, the AI systems being built by Google and OpenAI. The question isn't if this will happen, it's who will benefit from it. And here's something that'll blow your mind. The most important decisions about your future are being made right now, while you're watching this video. Government policies about AI development, investment decisions about life extension research, international agreements about genetic enhancement. These decisions will determine whether these technologies are available to everyone or just the wealthy elite. The next 20 years will determine if you're part of the revolution or left behind by it. But there's something you can do. Stay informed. Support research into life extension and human enhancement. Vote for leaders who understand technology. Learn skills that complement AI rather than compete with it. Because the future isn't something that happens to you. It's something you help create. The final truth. I started this video asking whether you think the world will be better or worse in 100 years. After everything we've discussed, what's your answer now? The Earth of 2124 will be different. Warmer in some places, underwater in others. But it will also be more managed, more nurtured, and more abundant than ever before. It will be a world where disease and energy scarcity are ancient history, where human capability is vastly expanded, where our consciousness is more connected than ever before, and where humanity has taken its first steps toward becoming a truly cosmic species. The future isn't coming. It's already here, growing in laboratories, being coded by programmers, and being dreamed by visionaries. The only question is, what kind of future do you want to build? What shocked you most about this vision of 2124? Are you excited or terrified? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this exploration as mind-blowing as I did, make sure to subscribe to Worthwhile Explorers for more amazing videos that challenge how you see our world. We're constantly uncovering the mysteries of science, technology, and the future that awaits us. Hit that notification bell because next video, I'm revealing the dark side of this future, the technologies that could destroy humanity before 2124 even arrives. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Until then, keep exploring. The future is closer than you think.